Good
Well, howdy, Shiloh. Good morning.
morning.
Hey, you threw a hoodie on, or what is that?
A what? It's my vest.
I'm just harassing you.
I
Just about,
know.
well, the whole, yeah, anyways. You know what? I must have lost my hat like that.
You must have.
You probably took it last time you were at my house. You took my
N-
hat.
No, you gave it to me. Actually, you made me pay for it. I can't believe that.
You took my hat. You scoundrel. That's an
No.
old word. So,
How are we doing today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, yeah,
I'm
the
feeling
sun
my,
is out. The sun is out up here, and it's nice out. So, and it's not snowing. So, I feel good.
I feel good. Anyways, yeah.
So,
Um, so you watched the debate last night. Well,
yeah.
first of all, hey, we should talk about the debate, but tell us about our guest that's going to be on tonight. I'm excited about this.
We are going to have a jam-packed show tonight. We are going to have Thea Lee from down in your area. She
Yep.
is running for U.S. Senate or State Senate. Sorry about that. Um, and then we are also going to have Dr. Frank back on, Dr. Douglas Frank, and he will be about 8:30, and we will be talking obviously the election fraud and what we can do there. So it is going to be a fun night, and I'm looking forward to it. So I know I've talked to Thea a couple of times. She's looking forward to being on, and so it's going to be a great night.
Thea she's an amazing person, actually. She's a warrior.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she's going to do a good job, and she might give Mr. Kessel. I think she's going to give him a real good run for his money, and there's a good chance she wins. They've been working their tail off, her and Carrie Kettlecorn.
Yep.
But anyways, and our guest after that is going to be an amazing guest. I can't wait. He was just a wealth of information. I know he was wound up last time
Mhm. Yep.
because I mean he just got off the
Off
stage.
stage and yep.
Yeah,
No, it was really interesting to see what he had to say. So I'm looking forward to continuing that conversation.
yeah, me as well. I think everybody. I just had two guys this morning just tell me, Luke, I don't trust the elections anymore, and I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I don't either. So, anyways, the debate. Let's hear about what you had to think. What did you think?
Well, a couple things. I as far as Rick goes, I don't know if this was a strategic plan or not of whoever was running the debate, but they put Rick in the middle of these two people, and I don't remember her name is Christina, right? And I don't remember what her last name is, and then you got Senator Hoven on the other side, and I thought Rick showed great restraint when all hell broke loose. Um, my thoughts on Christina what is unfortunately that is what the Democrat Party has come to be in. Um, I will say this: some of the stuff that she has said, there's about 5% of it that I agree with. That I think that she has points, but then when you get, when she starts talking more, I mean, you find out right quick what she's about, and that's unfortunate. Um, and then you have Senator Hoven, and I don't know. All I can say is I'm over Hoven. I've been over Hoven for a long time. Uh, I felt like the only thing he wanted to do was poke fun at Rick for not quote unquote being a Republican. I guess if I was Rick, and I don't know, and maybe there's a strategic plan of why he didn't say anything, but when Hoven brought up the primary and he brought up the convention being endorsed, I don't know why Rick didn't say, well, we probably would have won had the convention been run properly and it hadn't been stalled for 2 hours. So your two loads of bust in people could have got on, voted, and then got back on the buses and left. I don't know why he didn't say that. I mean, I guess obviously he's a bigger person than I am because that's exactly where I would have went. Um,
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking too, Shiloh. I was
yeah,
thinking, oh boy, we're going to hear about the buses. But
yeah,
Rick didn't do that. And either,
no,
like you said, he showed restraint or temporarily maybe had, I mean, there's a lot of pressure up there. He doesn't look like he's under a lot of pressure.
yeah,
Um, or he just wanted to move the conversation to something else that really actually mattered because anybody, even the Hovenites that
yeah,
are on his team, know exactly what happened at the convention.
yeah,
Um, I mean, they stalled the whole convention for those buses to show up, and I seen them. I took pictures of the buses.
yeah,
I seen the people come in, get registered, sit down, and then they all got. As soon as the vote was done, they got back on the bus and took off. That's what happened.
yeah.
So
Um,
yeah,
you know,
but
you and I've had this conversation before, and we just had it earlier. Um, I truly believe God's got his hand on Rick. I really do. I pray for Rick and his family. Last night I texted Rick and I said, um, thank you again for doing what you're doing for our country and putting yourself out there. And I said, and I told him, I said, I pray for you and your family because I truly appreciate what you're trying to do.
yeah.
I'm as serious as a heart attack when I say I truly believe God has his hand on him.
And just, I mean, I agree. I fully agree with that statement. And as a former legislator, I will say that when you get those texts, it just gives you a little bit more fumes to run on because most of the time you're running on fumes,
Yep.
and it just gives people that encouragement of, you know what, it really is worth it. So my initial um, concept of the debate was the same thing. Um, First, I will say the Democrat, um, she's a very smart person,
She is.
very smart person, eloquently put together, very fluid in her speech. She does think on her feet. Last time we seen the debate which Mr. Hoven Klein, you know, didn't do us the honor of being there. She did get a little unsettled out of the saddle there when it came to abortion,
Mhm.
for sure. And then that, but otherwise, she did a great job, and I thought she did really good. There was some in the debate that there was a lot of interrupting going on, and it wasn't real orderly. I know the gentleman that did the debate. He was at the Capitol a lot. He works for Prairie Public, and he's pretty. He's not going to be in the face. He's not going to shut people down.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that the Democrats shut Mr. Hoven down and said, "Well, you
Yep.
interrupted Rick," and I'm like,
Yep.
"Okay, so this is like childish now, like, oh,
Right.
he took a cookie too, like whatever."
See,
But
and back to your, if I could just right quick, the guy who the moderator was, see, I felt, and this is just me looking at it as a strategic type plan. I felt that they placed Rick in the middle of those two knuckleheads, and then they had a guy that they knew dang what good and well he wasn't going to be able to stop what was coming, and that's exactly what happened. And that's why I'm saying is Rick showed a lot of restraint, I
he,
thought, and
he
it
most
just
definitely
goes to
did.
his character.
Well,
So
I thought it was funny that they put Rick in the middle because
yeah.
in actuality they should have put John
Oh,
Hoven in the middle because John Hoven is on the far left, or excuse me, he's a moderate.
yeah.
We had the far left, okay, which is on your right hand side. So I guess my
Right.
left, okay.
Yep.
And then we had the Democrat, of course, on the far left. And then John Hoven, who I would say moderate at best. And
Mhm.
then Rick Becker, who I would say is right field for sure,
Right.
which that's where you and I line too. I mean, that's where our founding fathers are buried. So I think that's probably where we should be standing. But,
Right.
anyways, I will say that she did a great job. Definitely, did see where she came from and what she really is. It didn't take very long at all. She defended President Biden a whole lot and his administration. Um, John Hoven flat out lied a lot. He lied a lot, but I will give him this: he did show a lot of restraint, and that comes from many years of getting rich in the legislature, as a senator.
you know,
Um, but he did do a good job. I have to say, he actually did a good job. He didn't get rattled. Of course, I didn't expect him to get rattled. Um,
I,
and I will give him that. I will give him that.
I took it a
Um,
little different, but
well,
I I think he got rattled when he started accusing Rick of leaving the Republican Party and becoming an independent and stuff. I think he kind of knew that the ship was sinking, and so he had to divert it, so to
but
speak. But
but
but for
but
the most part,
even so, he didn't crack in his voice, is what I'm saying.
okay,
I thought,
good
yeah.
enough.
I mean, when a rattlesnake strikes, you can't say, "Look at the rattlesnake." I mean
Yeah,
that's what rattlesnakes do. But he had good form. Um, when he went down that path, that didn't surprise me at all. That's the talking points of the moderate, uh, Republicans. That's all his talking points. Um, and then Rick, I thought did a good job too. Now, I will say, Rick is a friend, and
hmm,
I don't know if he has a bigger supporter than me,
yeah,
but when you attack someone, it just doesn't look good.
right.
And I'm not going to say that Rick attacked him because it's politics and he was attacking policy. He never once attacked John Hoven personally. But it's sad that the media doesn't attack the policy. That's what really needs to happen is
Right.
the media and us the people need to be showing policy. So Rick did a great job. I feel like none of the candidates really talked about what they want to do. We know what the Democrats are going to do. We know what she's going to do. We know John Hoven is going to give us a nothing sandwich. It's just going to be oh, that tastes like, oh, my wife's candle because
Yeah.
it was nothing. I mean, like that's what he's going to do. Unless you're a corporation, then it's a pretty fat sandwich.
Right.
Um, if he's going to bring home the bacon for you, then it's going to taste just like bacon. Um, and then the Republican, the real Republican, the conservative, Rick Becker, we know what he's going to do. Like he's
Yep.
going to go Thomas Massey on these people. He's going to
Mhm.
go um, Rand Paul on these people. We know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to wake up a sleeping giant in North Dakota when it comes to conservative because he's going to be talking and acting like a conservative. Now, saying that,
But
I don't think
mind you, he's been doing that for the last how many years?
that's right.
It's not just
Now, if I was going to
not
talk about
the
the
last one.
beefs of what I think John Hoven said, because the Democrat is not an issue. No matter what, she's not going to win.
Yeah.
The beefs are when John Hoven said that all he is going to do is vote no. Some constitutional scholar, and he's just going to vote no. That's what John Hoven said, and end quote.
Yeah.
Now, he said that Rick Becker did nothing in the legislature and got nothing accomplished. Now, remember, this is a rhino Republican that
Yeah.
only solely sees padding pockets.
Yep.
That's what he's doing. So, yes, if that's the case, Rick Becker got nothing done. But if you want to talk about constitutional carry, if you want to talk about major earth shaking conservative bills, all of them, of which, except for one, which was Ben Koppelman's bill, and I suppose you could say my food freedom bill,
Yep.
all of them were Rick Becker bills. All of them. All of them.
They know that too. They're just you
Oh, made
know,
me mad.
and and Rick kind of combated that too when he said what he said, but uh yeah, they see, and again, there he has to divert from himself. And even if he's gonna lie, like he said, well, you yourself said you didn't know jack about agriculture.
Culture, that's
Well,
right.
True, he did say that, but in the same sentence, he was also saying about how he was going to surround himself with some people that do and take a little bit from everybody. And that's how you do it. I mean, did you learn about farming and ranching right away? Your
No,
first day?
no.
You, I mean, like myself, I've had a lot of good mentors in the horse training deal. I've traveled many miles. I've tried to surround myself with good people that know
Yeah.
more. And the saying that surround yourself with people that know more than you or are a little bit better than you kind of makes sense because you strive to better yourself and better people around you, obviously.
Well,
So
as you were talking, Shiloh, okay, so I got a lot of flack from the veterans because I voted no on some veterans bills. And
yeah,
let me tell you why. Because they would put the veterans bill in the pages of a horrible liberal bill like Lutheran Social Services
yep,
or social services or college funding, et cetera. You know what I think about college funding.
yep,
So saying that, they say, oh, Luke voted against. Well, wait a minute here. When we talk farming bills, the reason why Rick gets into a lot of trouble when it comes to farming bill isn't because of his lack of farming. Believe me, the guy is brilliant, smart. He'll catch on to that, no problem whatsoever. It's because, and Rick pointed it out,
the pork.
they put the whole welfare program in the farming bill, and that does need reform. Like Ronald Reagan once said, he said we shouldn't judge the success of how many people get on welfare. We should judge the success of welfare by how many people are getting off of welfare.
Yeah,
And he is exactly right. And John Hoeven is farm bill, farm bill, farm bill. But when Rick is attacking a farm bill, he's not attacking the farm bill, even though we should move off of that and the farmers should be on a free market, which they would succeed better. But, and the government is the problem in the farm bill.
yeah,
Um, but the truth is it's the welfare program, the welfare status that is just killing this country. And of course, over regulations.
yep. I
So,
agree.
well, that was my take too. So, just lie after lie after lie. At least the Democrat was honest.
Yeah,
She,
you know what she reminded me of, and I told my wife this after the debate, and we were talking a little bit about it this morning too. Is she reminded me of she's basically an AOC coming from North Dakota.
yep,
She'd be in that group.
yep,
Rick obviously would be in with Rand Paul, and then of course Hovind would be with where Hovind usually is.
yep, yep.
So,
Say
but
nothing, do nothing. I did
yeah,
like also how Rick pointed that out, that 18 other Democrats voted along with that bill, and every one of them had an F rating with the Conservative Union Foundation.
right.
So that was kind of a,
There was crickets there, that's for sure.
yeah, 18 Republicans switched over to help this so-called president clown
Yeah,
that got his massive bill through, his bill that he will go in the history books for. 18 Democrat or Republicans, supposed Republicans, came in and helped get that bill passed. And I'm sitting there going, and R2 were part of it. Kramer, John Hoeven were part of it.
yeah,
And they jumped ship with the most liberal Republicans of the Senate. And
yep,
are we serious here?
yeah,
At least Kelly Armstrong voted no on that. He
yep,
voted no on that, and that's good to see.
yep.
But
So
well, that's all I had to say. I look forward to tonight. This is
I
going to
do
be
too. Again, it's at 8 o'clock Central Time. Thea Lee will kick the show off with us, and then we will have Dr. Frank on as well, and we will be talking with him for the remainder of the show. And so, at any
sounds
rate,
sounds real good.
eight
I
o'clock Central, 7 o'clock man time,
man time. That's
according
right.
to Luke. So,
No, you said it wrong. You said it wrong. It's this
oh,
way.
okay,
7 o'clock man time, mountain time, and 8 o'clock flatlander time. They have mosquitoes the size of bald eagles. I'm telling you. I mean, it's swamp dwellers is what those people are. That's what they are.
Uh,
You know,
you're
that's how
crazy.
it. So I'll just tell you how it works. Okay,
Oh,
and
goodness.
okay.
Do I need to write this stuff down?
Well, yeah, probably be a good idea.
Got my
Okay.
pen right here.
So
All
when
right.
God went to South Dakota, he
Mm-hmm.
carved everything out of stones and he planted trees everywhere. It was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Montana, he did the exact same thing. Just solid stone, waterfalls, you name it.
By the way, you're not
Are
in
you,
Montana or South Dakota, but keep going.
are you getting this? And then he went to Minnesota and he pounded with his fist huge lakes into the ground, just beautiful lakes, and planted
Mm-hmm.
beautiful trees, just made it beautiful over there. Then he got to your area and I mean all of North Dakota pretty much, and he just took his plane and made it as level as can be, just flat
Mm-hmm.
as a pancake. Then he
Yep.
got to my area, the Badlands, and he just cleaned his tools off and called it good.
Mhm.
That's how that works. That's how that works.
All right.
We are the best of everything. We are the best of everything,
Sure
and
you
I
are.
and especially men, especially men.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean,
really?
we're so manly up out west that even the women grow hair on their chest. Just so you
Yeah.
know. Just so
Yeah.
you know. Okay, look forward to talking to you.
I'm sure they appreciate that. So
Oh, oh, oh. Hey,
sounds
we're
good.
way late here. We were supposed to go 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
um, Daryl Lees, I couldn't believe it. Yes, not yesterday, but the day before on his radio show on KFYR,
Yeah.
he called these kids. What did he call them? But little buttheads, I think. He said,
Yeah.
we need to get these little buttheads out of our public schools if they're that kind of problem. And I'm like, wow, wow.
I missed it.
Oh, it's hilarious. So it's not yesterday, but it's the day before. If you go onto KFYR, you can go
Yeah.
look at it. And I'm listening to this, and he's talking about kids that are really causing problems, and the schools
Yeah.
are catering to these problems. And he's like, we need to get rid of these little buttheads. And then he
Yeah.
said it again, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agreed with him, but it's
Right.
been a while since I heard any radio personality call a kid a butthead. So he's just killing it over there. All right. Well, Shiloh, I'm going to
All
go back to
right.
work.
Yep.
Happy
Oh,
trails.
happy trails, bud. See you tonight.
See you tonight. Goodbye.
Bye.